What's up guys, Darkdally here, playing Ghost Recon Wildlands, and today I want to go over some of the comments that I've received in the past couple of weeks on the videos. Some of you guys had some really cool things to say, and really a lot of it was very cool input, and it's stuff I'd like to address. And so feel free to, of course, comment on this video, and we'll see if we can get some Q&A stuff going on. But anyway, for right now, let's get to some of the comments I want to hit. I think there's 10 of them that I pulled aside that I think were really good. And of course, I'd love to give a big shout out to all of you guys who regularly comment on all of my videos. Notification Squad, all you guys, you know who you are. All right, guys, anyway, let's get on to the comments I decided to go ahead and pull for this video. There's some real interesting stuff here. First off, we have this comment here by ATG3192. I'll read some of this here. This was on the video I posted on 8 tricks to, kind of increase your immersion in the gameplay of Wildlands, and he suggests have at least 3 separate outfits, one for low-vis civilian clothes, one for recon, and then raid set. And here's what I like right here, where he suggested only use night vision if you're using the advanced ballistic helmet, which I have equipped here. And I thought that was really cool. That really fits in with a lot of the immersive type rules I like to put on myself when I play the game. And I thought that was really cool. Like, if you're not wearing this helmet, don't allow yourself to use night vision. And of course, that would go along with only change your loadout at certain places or certain times, whatever you allow. For instance, I allow myself to change my loadout when I'm at rebel checkpoints, or when I'm traveling in cars. Now, I thought that was really, really cool. I really wanted to mention that in a video. So thanks a lot, ATG3192, for that comment. I actually think I have another of your comments here in my list. That was a really great idea. That's something that, boy, if I make a second video on immersion, that's definitely going in there. All right, and this comment here is from Rayan. I hope that's right. Good video, but what is your favorite gun in the game? Assault rifle. Mine is the M4A1. This is a question that I get a lot, and I've been asked this by tons and tons of people. This is just the one I picked and, and decided to pull for this video here. Been asked that a lot of times because I do so much testing with the weapons. So let's have a look here. It's a hard question for me to answer because there's a lot of rifles that I like, and I'll kind of go into some of that right now. Right now I'm using the M4A1, just kind of what I chose for today. And you notice I'm not using it with grenade launcher. I'm actually not a real big user of grenade launchers on my rifles. I often don't run them. Just an FYI. It's really not necessary, I don't think. But anyway, that aside, the LVOAC bad news. This is my go-to gun right here. That's all there is to it. But not everyone has this unlocked, of course, but this is definitely my go-to. This is a great all-around assault rifle, but I still wouldn't say it's like my favorite. I consider that kind of a complicated question. I've always been a big fan of the SR3M, and in my original playthrough of the game, this was my favorite weapon all the way to level 30. I like it small, it's compact, it's a cool little 9x39 Russian, compact assault rifle. I really like that. I've been a really big fan of the L85A2. Mostly, and a lot of this stuff is aesthetic, but a lot of these rifles are in such equal playing ground that it does come down to aesthetics. The L85A2 has a very unique report to its shot. Now, all of the assault rifles have their own unique sounds, but I really like the way this one sounds when fired unsuppressed. It's also a pretty damn good, accurate weapon. I think this is a really good weapon. That's one of my favorites as well. I used the R5 RGP quite a bit when I was leveling up originally. This was probably my second most used weapon after the SR3M. I liked this because it has a slow rate of fire. It allowed me to squeeze off 1 or 2 shots at a time without changing the mode of fire, which is, one thing that's kind of cool. And I have used the M4 quite a bit. So I guess it comes down to my favorite weapon when I was leveling through the game was the SR3M. It was just the one I used the most. And it may be just because I got it so early in the game. You unlock it in Agua Verde, I believe is where you find it, and then you find the large magazine for it right there as well. So, it's a great weapon you get when you're starting off if you happen to hit Agua Verde as your second zone, which I did in my first playthrough. This was my favorite weapon, and it probably still is, I would imagine. Yeah, TAR-21. This is what I used going down through tier mode until I got the bad news, was the TAR-21. I actually don't hear a whole lot of people talking about this one. This is a really good rifle. I like the small compact rifles, and I'm quite fond of a few of the bullpup rifles. So this to me was a good one. So to answer your question, the very long answer, my favorite weapon overall, it's a really tough one. It really does fall in between those. Probably the M4 is one I've gone back to, and the TAR-21 are kind of the two I've gone back to the most throughout my time in the game. Now we have one here from Gep Gaming. I'm not going to lie, not fast traveling is great. This comment was also on the Immersion video. A lot of these comments are from there, where I mentioned not fast traveling, but that it might be more immersive if you instead drive everywhere in vehicles you've acquired. And that is a great way to experience the game. Anyway, fast traveling is great. This one time I was driving around with my buddies in a Jeep. Everything's nice and calm. I have to rub my eyes, and as soon as I look back, the Jeep is up in flames, rolled over on its side, and there's Unidad literally everywhere, suppressing us with LMGs. Shit hits the fan real damn fast in this game. Yeah, that's very true. Anything can happen, and you might come across some cool places along the way. I really find that you come across some cool places, you explore more of the map, you see some stuff you might not otherwise see, and you find yourself getting into adventures that you may not have expected. If you just fast travel to a mission, then you're doing one mission, then another, then another. But if you don't fast travel, you may really find yourself caught up in a whole string of freeform quests, you could call them, just kind of stuff you invent yourself or come up with yourself along the way. Say, yeah, something like this happens, you lose your car, next thing you know, you need to find another vehicle, and so you're like, well, I want a chopper, so you're assaulting a base to get that chopper, and then other stuff happens, and then you have a whole story of stuff that happened, and then when you get to where you're going, you feel like you really actually got there, and that's really good stuff as well. Okay, and here we have one from Overt, I believe. Basically all rules I did for the first playthrough with limited HUD. You only minimally until it was fixed. I used my enemy marks to be able to sync shot. No crosshair, gear change, only in ammo. Also, most kills with pistols. Drone without HUD makes sense. Okay, as far as limited HUD options, I've gotten lots of comments agreeing, and lots of people do run with, little or no HUD. And as far as that, here's my thoughts on that. I'm running a fairly limited HUD right now. Now, I'll tell you what I have up and why I still have it up. Pretty much the only things I still have up, I do still have up my crosshair, even though I really don't ever use it. I would definitely recommend turning off the crosshair is really not a big deal. All my guns are always priority first person to aim. I like aiming the guns in first person the best, so I never use the crosshair. The reason I have it is pretty much strictly for when a helicopter flies over, and if I have a sniper ready to go, I find it really disorienting to scope in on a moving object in the sky like this. Then it's harder to track. So I do keep my crosshair. So if something flies over quickly, I can more easily track it and take it down. That said, crosshair is definitely something that can go easily. I recommend personally, if you're not sure what HUD options to keep up, here's my recommendations. I recommend you keep up the stuff in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, your items and stuff like that. It'd be a real pain to not know how many grenades you'll have left, or like which of these items you're on, etc. like that. I don't even know how you would run without that ammo. A lot of these things are things that if I was in my character's shoes, I would know. I could feel my vest and know if I had grenades left. And also, as you see, it disappears on its own. I don't think that's a big deal, and I recommend definitely keeping that up. I have my map up, and that's kind of a big thing for me. I'd like to turn my map off. The reason I still have my map on is because I drive everywhere, and it'd be a pain in the ass to constantly pull up my TAC map and check my route. That said, though, the map can kind of go, really, and that feeds into the next thing. I'll show you what I do have turned on and off on my HUD. The map kind of feeds into this. Let's go to Hud Controls and have a look here. A lot of this stuff, I'm playing on a lower difficulty now because I mostly just do testing, but I like to leave detection clouds off. Now, a lot of this stuff you turn off, and it'll turn it off on your HUD, but it will stay on your map. For instance, objective markers. Let's turn this on, and you can see what this is. This is the stuff that shows you. Well, it's right there on the screen. It shows the little symbol over the convoy. It's showing where the quest, checkpoint is. All that stuff. If you turn this off, don't be afraid that you're not going to know. It still does show on the map. I have that off. I have item location markers off. This would be things like that. You can see right there on the right side of my screen, things like that. I have this toggled off. Again, it still shows on the map. So there's no worries about missing anything. You're not going to miss any intel or anything if you have your map on. So turning all this kind of stuff off, same with this really isn't needed. I really don't think these alert markers are needed at all, if you play aware of your surroundings. And having this stuff off, you can still immerse yourself in the game and not have these icons all over your screen, and they are still going to show on the map. The one I do want to get to, though, is down. I have this one on for no particular reason. I don't think that really doesn't hurt my immersion whatsoever. This one right here, I recommend keeping this on 100%. This is kind of one reason I wanted to go into this. Notifications. If you turn off notifications, you will miss vital game info. This is very true. Now, on the one hand, I find this very annoying because it's always saying mission nearby, mission nearby. And then it has the pop-up at the top of the screen every time you pick up medication, you know, or gasoline or whatever, and says skills available, click here. It's kind of annoying. On the other hand, if you turn this off and you say you pick up a weapon attachment or something, you won't know what that is. It won't say anything. Or you pick up a bonus medal, it won't say anything. Maybe that's fine for you, but if you'll recall in my immersion tips video, I'll have a link for that in the description below. In my immersion video, I recommended one thing you can do is not look up where the weapon modifications and the weapons themselves are. That way, when you find them, you're surprised. You know, that's a very cool thing to do. That way, when you open a box, you're not sure what weapon's in it. Well, if you have this turned off, you won't know. You'll never know. And you'll be like, wonder what kind of part I just got. So I recommend keeping this on. But a lot of this stuff, what I was saying is a lot of this stuff you can turn off. I still see all that stuff on my mini map. I just won't see it cluttering up my game screen. So I think that's a pretty good way to run your HUD. It's a pretty decent way to run the HUD. And suddenly I'm hunted for no reason at all. There must be enemies over there. Okay, and here we have a comment by Modest3727. Great tips. I would like to add more. Discover, i.e. reveal real names and places to replace the question marks of locations by visiting them. Instead of using binoculars or drone, let those question marks on the attack map remind you which places have been visited and explored and which ones have not. This provides a great experience of exploration. All right. Thank you very much, Modest. As you guys know, I love to explore in the game. If you see my channel, my whole entire series of videos, I think I have... Correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's about 30 videos in that series where I went and saw all the unique sites that I could in this world. There is so much to see. And one thing is, a lot of these places are designed after real life locations in Bolivia. Like over here somewhere we have that rock tree or whatever it's called. That's an actual place in Bolivia. Then down here in, well, there's a reference to real life Bolivia down here, Inca Camino, well, the very name of the zone. And of course, right here we have the Inca Road. Inca Road, I didn't think it used to be called that. Did they change the name of it? I think it used to be Camino del Inca or something. Anyway, which is actually a road that runs the length of the Incan Empire, which actually still exists in real life in parts of South America. And correct me if I'm wrong, like Chile and Peru and Bolivia. Then we got places over here, like right here we have Death Road. It's a real place in Bolivia, as is the Klaus Barbie House, which is right here. This is actually a real place in Bolivia as well. And then, of course, we have the famous Laguna Colorada, this big lake. Anyway, I could go on and on. There's a lot of these places are places that Ubisoft has taken a lot of time to recreate, places that actually exist in real-life Bolivia, and they've kind of scattered them throughout here, and it's really fun to find that stuff. So thank you, Modest, for your comment. And of course, he did say he enjoyed, in a further comment further down in a reply, he did say he liked my Sites and Landmarks series. Thank you for that very much too. I really liked doing that series. I just kind of feel like I ran out of material there. I was starting to see the same stuff over and over. But I will say it took quite a while before I started seeing the same stuff over and over. This is a big, big game, guys. All right, and here's one comment I definitely wanted to address. This was an oversight by me in my video where I did the Mark 17 bullet drop. Robert Olsnovich said, would be nice to see what the short barrel did. You know, I didn't even think of that, and as long as I'm going through comments, I'm going to go through that one because, yeah, thanks a lot, man, for bringing that up. I did neglect to show the short barrel bullet drop on the Mark 17 because it doesn't affect the bullet drop, but why not show it anyway? Well, it does affect it. I'm sorry, it doesn't improve it. There we go. Now we're stock with the Mark 17 except for the scope that we've been using for the bullet drop. So let's get to 250 meters. Let's get the normal shot up there. We know where it's going to hit, but I just want it so we have something to compare against, and we'll do the short barrel test. I am sorry that I missed that. I totally didn't even consider that. All right, 250 meters. We hit right where we, have been in our tests. Right at the bottom of that brick. That's the bottom of the third brick up from the bottom. You see there's two more rows of bricks below it. So let's go ahead and let's put on the short barrel and let's see how much more bullet drop we get. Because the barrel is shorter, we're not going to have as much muzzle velocity and the bullet's going to drop down further. Let's see what we get here. From my experience, it dropped completely off the wall, and I said that in my reply to his comment, but let's go ahead and let's see here. So we get the short barrel on. Double check. Yes, we do. Pretty sure that hit in the dirt. If you saw that dust cloud kick up, that's what it looks like to me. Let's see if we can find a shot here. It would have hit right here in the dirt. It fell short of the wall. Yeah, it without a doubt fell short of the wall. So I can't really say, at least here, exactly how much that would have dropped us. But we can assume it definitely hit here somewhere, so we can say that if it were on the wall, it would have dropped us more than 2 bricks, obviously. It would have dropped us a lot. Whereas the long barrel, if you guys recall, the long barrel, I'll put some graphics up on the screen here, put us right here at the top of this brick. So the long barrel gave us almost 2 bricks more, accuracy, or, less bullet drop. The short barrel dropped us more than the long barrel gave us. The short barrel is really, you're going to have to find your own bullet drop for that at range and really, really adjust for it because it drops off quite a bit. All right, and here we have one by Alaskan Bass. And he's in the Discord, by the way. I talked to him some, and if you guys want to get in on the Discord, the link is in the description below. So he goes on to say, great video, let's see what modifications do. He's referring to, this was one of the videos I did on assault rifle bullet drop, and he says the L85 may win this, actually. Of course, we haven't tested the L85 yet. I'm eager to see what it does. It may just hit higher than the AUG A3, but I'm kind of betting it'll hit right with it. Let's hope the L115 A3 will be changed, so it hits higher. I always thought British weapons were really bad in-game because the game is made by Ubisoft Paris. That made me laugh. And I hadn't thought about it that way. But let's hope the L85 can redeem the bad reputation of the L115 in this game. Speaking of which, now, I do still, and I will, still test the L85 properly. But as long as we're here, why not get a sneak peek? Let's compare the L85 to the L115 because I think they might actually be comparable. Now, I'm going to stay here at 250 meters because both rifles, well, the L115A3 has assault rifle bullet drop. It really kind of does. So let's go ahead and let's grab this L85. Now, I haven't done the official testing video on it yet, but hey, I'm curious here, all right? We can't put a long barrel on it. How about that? It looks like the AUG A3 is probably going to be, again, sneak peek. We can't put a long barrel on this one either. It looks like the AUG A3 is probably going to be the highest hitting of the assault rifles. All right, so we got everything that we can do to make it shoot as far as possible. Let's go ahead and, in our other hand, let's grab the L115A3. Just kind of see here. I haven't done a straight across assault rifle to sniper rifle comparison, and it is something I was intending on doing. Now let's have a look at this one here. There's no rail attachment, so that's all we can do for this. Let's go ahead and take that off. We don't need that. May as well use the same scope. No reason not to. So this gives us all right, let's compare these two at 250 meters, see how they do. So first up, we have the L85A2. All right, and this should hit right at the bottom of the 4th brick up from the bottom, I believe, or near the bottom of it. Oh, no, that's right. We have a rangefinder on it, so that's where it's hitting. Moved it up about, moved it up about half a brick. You can see it right there. Now let's grab the L115A3. And see, is there a sniper that can compare, it shoots so low, can actually be compared to assault rifles? Eager to find out here. We certainly get a better view through the scope with the sniper, that's for sure. That was a much clearer view of the target. Much easier to take the shot. Well, we see there's the comparison at 250 meters. So, I've actually been curious. Do the lower hitting snipers, are they comparable to assault rifles? Now, even the lowest hitting snipers, the L115A3 was really low hitting. At 250 meters, you can see we had well over a brick of gain on this wall at, over the L85. Of course, we were testing the snipers from 350. If I would tested the L85 at 350, it may not even appear on this wall. Hard to say, but we'll get to that properly later on. Thank you very much, Alaskan Pass. So let's move on to the next one. All right, here's a question from, and I've gotten this several times. This is one of those ones where I've been asked so many times, so I just put up the most recent one that I saw. This is from Andrew James Stringer. Why don't you do any testing in Ghost War? I may in the future, but once I get, if I can find some time to schedule with my squad that I play with, we may do some testing there. But the short answer is, I don't do PvP. I'll just answer that here. I'm not interested in PvP in any game, just ever. So I was never interested in Ghost War. It has nothing to do with anything anyone said on it or opinions people have had. I'm just not interested in PvP. I have no interest in competing with other players. I like helping other players, is what I really like to do. That said, my squad that I play with regularly here in Ghost Recon, once we can find a time to play together, we have planned some testing we'd like to do in Ghost War. We'd like to see if some of these ballistics tests and stuff I've been doing, if that carries over and applies in Ghost War because of the smaller play areas, have the physics been scaled down, etc., things like that. There's been things we do want to test. So, answers to those questions, I don't play Ghost War because I just simply have no interest in PvP, and I'm bad at it. And also, I would like to get to some testing there, but I can't say when. Alright, here we have a question from Lowlight. Is there a reason why the drone can't get closer to the targets to see better since it's still in range. Okay, that is from one of my assault rifle bullet drop videos. That comment, actually, thank you very much, Lowlight, for that comment, actually affected the way I did my videos. With the sniper rifle videos, I was doing my testing at 350 meters, so I couldn't get the drone all the way up to the wall, and I was zooming in, and I did the best I could. With the assault rifles, I easily could. The reason I don't go all the way is because the drone will remove the mark, as you see there, so I want to leave the mark up. Now, however, that comment did make me think, and as you guys have noticed, when I do the bullet drop test now, I now do some editing. I just use the editor a little bit. I enlarge the frame of the wall, freeze the frame, put some arrows and markers and things on there, and make a little graphic so you guys can see where I hit. So thank you, Lowlight, once again for that comment. That really made me rethink the way I do this. I thought to myself, well, I don't use the, I don't go all the way up with the drone because it would erase the mark. And then that's actually what made me think, why don't I just enlarge the thing in editing and put arrows pointing to the bullet holes? I'm sure that has been a great help to you all who watch my bullet drop videos. It has made everything much clearer. It's actually not that hard to do. I don't know why I never thought of it in the first place. It just, freeze that one frame, blow it up, show you guys where I was hitting, because I forget that I'm watching this, on the game. I'm watching this on a 50-inch. Some of you may be watching it on your phone and YouTube, and it may be too small for some people to see where I was hitting. So thank you again for that comment, and that's really made a big difference. Let's move on to the next one. All right, and our last comment, I believe this is the same guy who had the first comment. So we're ending the way we started. ATG3192 here. I believe this was a comment also on the immersion video. I'm not sure. He says here, another immersion rule one could try in group play is to have certain backpacks determine roles, i.e. the guy using the ANPRC backpack, I just call it the comms pack for short, is the only guy that can call in rebel support, or the guy supporting the drone backpack is the only one who can use the drone. Now that's very cool. Read on through that comment, guys. That's really cool. That's a cool idea. He's the same one who had the idea for only using night vision if you have the advanced ballistics helmet like I have equipped here. I'm definitely going to start doing that. And this is cool too for co-op play. We have these different backpacks, and that's cool. If you made it so that, like it says in the comment, basically, we have all these different backpacks. So this right here would, you'd have to have this one to be able to use, call in long range radio support, maybe like mortar strikes, rebel support, whatever, and if you have people in your squad who are using the drone, they have to have this equipped, and that kind of keeps everyone in their role. That's a really cool idea for immersion. So thanks again, ATG3192, for that. That's a very cool idea. There's a lot of ways we can do more immersive things in this game and make little guidelines to follow to make the game more interesting as we play through it. And I'll probably expand upon that because I had so much fun and, making the immersion video, and it's done pretty well so far. I'll probably likely do follow-ups to it from your guys' ideas, because if you look through the comments in that video, there's a lot of comments all with new ideas and how other people do it. And it turns out a lot of people are doing the same stuff I do for immersion, and a lot of them have their own rules, and a lot of them are really, really cool. I just kind of pulled out what I could. All right, guys, this has been really interesting looking through your comments. Of course, you guys know I look through your comments because I reply to all of them that I can, within reason. Once a video gets to a couple weeks old, I kind of generally stop looking at it. But as you guys know, I replied and I see a lot of your comments. So I was glad that it found the chance today to make a video directly replying to at least 10 of them. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments below here. And if you have any further questions you want me to address in another video like this, put them down there and we will see. Also, don't forget the Discord server. The link's in the description. Everyone's free to join. And I guess that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a real pleasure. I'm Darkdally, and I will catch you guys next time.